morning, Emerson. President Donald Trump wants stricter penalties for drug traffickers.
And Austin, Texas was victim to another package bomb this week, sending two to the hospital.
All that and more today, March 21st. I'm Mary Malloy.
And I'm Sean Stackhouse.
We have an exciting show planned for you today. Maddie Brooks is here to share a sweet and healthy snack recipe with us.
And later, Mick Bondareco will perform a couple of love songs for us live in studio. But first, here are this week's top stories. President Donald Trump took to Twitter again this weekend, this time lashing out against special counsel Robert Mueller and the ongoing investigation into Russia's interference in the 2016 election. Trump tweeted that the investigation is, quote, a total witch hunt with massive conflicts of interest, unquote. This marked the first time Trump has mentioned Mueller by name in a tweet in the ongoing saga against the allegations. The president also tweeted about concerns of objectivity and political leanings of the team members of Mueller. Trump also challenged the honesty of fired FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe and former FBI Director James Comey, whom Trump fired last year over the Russia probe.
President Donald Trump plans to combat opioid drug addiction by calling for stricter penalties for drug traffickers. This will include the death penalty, but only where it is appropriate under the current law. The president also wants Congress to pass legislation reducing the amount of drugs needed to trigger mandatory minimum sentences for traffickers who knowingly distribute certain illicit opioids. He would like to broaden education and awareness and expand access to proven treatment and recovery efforts.
A scary scene in Texas this week after another bomb was set off in Austin, this time causing police in the city to declare the suspect a serial bomber. Two men were injured on Sunday when a device exploded in Austin on the side of the road. This is the fourth time this month an attack has taken place. The attack was activated by a tripwire, and the three previous were disguised as packages and placed outside of residents' homes. President Trump has been briefed on the attacks in Austin, and both men injured in the attack on Sunday are expected to recover. The story continues to develop. As of this morning, the suspected bomber has died. Officials say he set off a car bomb, resulting in death. We will have more on the story next week.
The Food and Drug Administration says it wants to reduce the amount of nicotine in cigarettes. This should help millions of smokers wean off of their habit and prevent millions more from becoming regular smokers. Cutting nicotine levels by 0.4 milligrams could help about 5 million adult smokers quit within 1 year. It will also prevent more than 33 million people from becoming regular smokers by the year 2100. The FDA has yet to decide exactly how much it will cut nicotine or how quickly. It is officially springtime. I have a hard time believing that with this cold weather, but for a more specific look at the weather, we're going to go to Stephanie Wittenbach.
Thanks, Sean and Mary. Today is the start of another nor'easter storm. It's the fourth we've seen this month, although it's officially spring. It seems like the cold isn't shying away anytime soon. We start today with high winds up to 26 to 35 miles per hour, but the worst of the wind gale isn't yet to come until later in the day. In the morning, we'll have on and off snow showers, giving us about 1 to 3 inches of snow, and wind gusts will go over 40 miles per hour. Later in the afternoon, we'll start to see 5 to 8 inches of snow, and winds will get up to 50 miles per hour. Temperatures will stay steady at around mid to lower 30s. For Thursday, put on your rain and snow boots because it's going to get slippery out there. Not only will we continue to have snow showers, but add that to rain showers. In the afternoon, we'll have wet snow and a high of 42 degrees. Later in the evening, it will be partly cloudy, but luckily clearing out later in the night. And on Friday, we'll have cloudy skies with a high of 39 degrees and a low of 29. Winds will stay at around 10 to 15 miles per hour. And as for Saturday morning, we'll finally get to see a bit of sunshine with partly cloudy skies and a high of 40 degrees. Later that evening, we'll have mostly cloudy skies with snow flurries and winds up to 20 miles per hour. It doesn't seem like the wind wants to give us a break on our first week of spring, but watch out for Sunday because it's going to pick back up with gusts over 35 miles per hour. We'll start to see an overcast, but luckily by Monday, we'll see sunshine again, and the high for Sunday is 35 degrees. That's all I have for weather. We go now over to Allie Walker, who has the latest in sports.
Thanks, Stephanie. The Minnesota Twins were hit with shocking news just weeks before opening day. Starting shortstop Jorge Polanco is suspended for 80 games after testing positive for steroids. Major League Baseball announced the unpaid suspension Sunday, while Polanco stated he regretfully accepted it and that he did not intentionally consume the drug. The shortstop played a key role in the Twins' postseason, hitting 13 home runs in 133 games. The Milwaukee Brewers have hopped on the humor train for this year's spring training video, remaking an iconic scene from The Sandlot. The team celebrated the 25th anniversary of the classic baseball movie by recreating one of the film's most memorable moments and posting the video on social media. It seems that spoofing The Sandlot is becoming a tradition as the Yankees released their own version just a few years ago. Eastern Michigan University announced it will drop 4 of its sports at the end of the spring season, a reduction that will save an estimated $2.4 million. Being cut are softball, men's swimming and diving, and women's tennis and wrestling. The budget cuts won't impact Eastern Michigan's connection with the Mid-American Conference, but it will affect 83 student athletes. It has been a wild March Madness. Here are the highlights. Houston's Rob Gray scored 39 points and hit the game's winning shot. Cincinnati had a 99.9% chance of winning when it took a 22-point lead in the second half Sunday, but Nevada had other ideas, winning 75-73 the second half. Nevada also beat Texas in overtime, coming back after being down 14 points. Buffalo set the stage for some upsets as the Wildcats didn't just lose to Buffalo, but to the Bulls, who won their first game in the tournament. Michigan State grabbed 29 offensive rebounds in a loss to Syracuse. And arguably the biggest highlight, UMBC defeats Virginia 135-0. That's all I have for sports. Back to you, Sean and Mary.
Thank you, Allie. We have to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, Tia Kingley has the latest in entertainment, including the details on the American Idol reboot.
And GME uncovers indulged at Dine Out Boston. More on the yummy cuisine after the break.
Lauren, what are you doing?
I'm getting ready to host Good Morning Emerson, of course.
Good Morning Emerson? What's that?
It's the best morning show ever that's on Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m.
Wow, how can I work on this?
Yeah, let's get going. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather.
Welcome back to Good Morning Emerson. We are here with Tia Kingley, who has the latest in the entertainment. What's the buzz, T?
American Idol is back on television for its 16th season this year, and Katy Perry is back throwing shade at Taylor Swift as one of the new judges. On an episode that aired on Sunday, Judge Luke Bryan asked a contestant who he looked up to which prompted the contestant to apologize to Katy and say that he loves Taylor Swift. Katy quickly responded, "I love her as a songwriter as well. This tea is scalding." Katie and Taylor's feud started back in 2013 when Katie hired a group of backup dancers to go on tour with her, even though they had already committed to go on tour with Taylor. What do you guys think about Katie's comment, and whose side are you on?
I'm not picking sides. I think it's such an old feud. I think it needs to die. They both just need to really move on. I think that was unnecessary shade that Katie threw, and she just needs to get over it at this point.
I feel like the biggest thing here is that American Idol is back, and the judges have gone down to having Katy Perry, and a feud is talking about Taylor Swift. I know that they switched networks and everything, but I feel like American Idol has really run its course, and the fact that we have to talk about this storyline to get anything about the show out in the open, it's not a good sign.
I don't really have an opinion on either Taylor or Katie, but recently, did anybody see the Katy Perry kiss on American Idol?
Yes.
That was
That one's
wild.
rough.
So I don't know whose side I'm leaning to, but Katy Perry. Goodness gracious, that was not the move.
I agree. Well, on Monday, girl group Fifth Harmony announced that they would go on an indefinite hiatus in order to pursue their solo careers. In a post on the group's socials, the girls wrote, quote, "We've really had one hell of a memorable journey together and can't begin to express our gratitude to y'all for coming along with us on this wild ride," unquote. This announcement follows former member Camila Cabello's departure from the group in late 2016. Fifth Harmony was formed on the X Factor in 2012, and much like Fellow formed on the X Factor group One Direction, many fans believe this hiatus was inevitable as the girls all started out wanting to have solo careers. Do you agree? Were any of you guys harmonizers?
I was not a harmonizer. I don't know, just not my music taste, but I will have to say I'm excited for them because One Direction, they did their hiatus and they're all pretty successful, different genres of music. I really like Harry Styles' music. Niall's music is pretty cool, so
I agree.
it should be interesting.
I'm in the same boat. I'm definitely not a harmonizer, and I think it's great that they're going to pursue their own singles career, but my biggest fear is that they're going to have something similar to what happened with NSYNC. One of them is going to go to the top. One of them is going to be that JT, Justin Timberlake, everyone knows. And then the other ones are just going to fall by the wayside. And I feel like that's something that we could be seeing here.
I really think that them breaking up was inevitable. I think we saw it coming. There was always some tense issues going on from the beginning that we've heard about. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But on a happier note, Love, Simon, a rom-com featuring a gay lead, opened in theaters nationwide this weekend. It raked in over $11 million at the weekend box office and has been hailed as groundbreaking by fans and critics alike with a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. The film stars Nick Robinson, Katherine Langford, Alexandra Shipp, Jennifer Garner, and Josh Duhamel, and is based on the book Simon versus the Homo sapiens Agenda. I saw Love, Simon myself, and I cannot recommend it enough. What about you guys? Have you seen it or do you plan to?
I haven't seen it yet. To be fair, I'm not a huge movie buff, but I feel like this is really, really important as far as just having that in the lead role. I think it's going to be very important for a lot of people to see and to have that out in the open.
I mean, representation is always great. I love movies, so I'm so excited to go see it.
It seems like a groundbreaking movie, and I look forward to seeing it this weekend. I'll let you know what I think later.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Tia, thank you so much for joining us today and keeping us in the loop. Next, Jimmy Uncovers visited Dine Out Boston. Let's take a look.
Hey guys, it's Megan with GME Uncovers. This week we're at Back Deck, which is right by the Paramount Building, for Dine Out Boston. Here's the menu. As you can see, Back Deck has chosen to go with a $33 dinner menu. And you get the first course, second course, and dessert. So I ordered the grilled duck leg with the peanut mole, and then I also ordered the classic eggplant parmesan. So we'll see what they're like when they come out. So I'm not normally a fan of peanuts, but the peanut mole sauce on this duck really lifts the entire dish up. It gives it a pop of flavor. And then you come over here to the squash, which is charred, and it gives you a nice bit of sweetness. So everything on this dish is super balanced, and it's so, so good. Now for the classic Italian eggplant parmigiano. That's how Rachel Ray would say it, I think. So there's a tendency with eggplant parmesan or chicken parmesan to keep the pasta so simple that it's really just pasta with marinara sauce. But what Back Deck has done is they've done spaghetti aglio e olio, which is garlic and oil. So it really gives like extra layer of flavor to this. They've thrown parsley in there. There's a good garlic and butter flavor that's coming across, and it adds to everything. So really, with their eggplant parmesan, you're getting different layers of flavor that adds up to something that is definitely worth coming in for. So guys, for dessert, we ordered the s'mores. Now what's so special about this s'mores is that this is a homemade graham cracker made by the chefs at Back Deck themselves. And you get a choice of espresso or peppermint marshmallows. I went with the peppermint, so let's get stuck in and try it out. This is so good. These graham crackers are so crispy. This marshmallow is so gooey and creamy, and the chocolate's melting, and everything's just like, it's like an explosion in your mouth. If you liked campfire s'mores, you gotta come in and try this, because this takes that concept to the next level. Okay guys, sadly this plate is empty, but my stomach and my heart are full. This is a great first stop on our Dine Out Boston experience. If you live at Emerson or around the area, definitely come here. There's also a few other restaurants that are doing it that are right nearby. The Hyatt Regency is doing it, the Ritz-Carlton is doing it, even the Blue Restaurant is doing it. That's over in Chinatown, so check that out. This is a fantastic place to go, even if you're not doing Dine Out Boston. The food here is just great. So this is Megan Cullinan with GME Uncovers. Come to Back Deck. It's so good.
I'm here with Maddie Brooks, who has a yummy recipe to share with us. I am so excited to try this. What are we doing?
So we're sort of going to be making a healthy Sour Patch Kids using just green grapes I have and lime jello. If we want to try it out. So what I have here is grapes that are sort of just dipped in water, so they're nice and wet. We're going to take them and just roll them in the lime jello. Wiggle it around a bit so it's completely coated, just as a Sour Patch Kids would be.
Oh, okay.
And then we take them out and set it aside. We do this with a couple if you want to try some.
Yes, I would love to try some, and I'm assuming you can do this essentially with any type of berry.
Yeah, go
right?
ahead, right? I mean, why not? I've done them with red grapes. I've done it with blueberries. So take them, keep filling them in, and then what you're gonna do is take the grapes once they're all done, and you stick them in the freezer.
Okay.
Because you want to get the outside to be like a hard shell, and then after they're frozen, thaw them out a little bit, and then, you know, they are a great healthy alternative to the candy.
This is amazing. I mean, growing up, I used to eat frozen grapes all the time instead of having popsicles and everything. And this is so easy. You can do it in your dorms. I was afraid that we were going to have to boil water and put it in the jello mix. And sometimes, I mean, I spill everything. So that could have just been a hot mess, literally.
Definitely.
So,
even if like you use sugar-free jello, then you're like taking
at
that whole
you.
thing out of it. I mean, I didn't go for that, but 'cause, you know, I have a bit of a sweet tooth myself.
Me too.
Yeah, and then if you get different flavors, you can sort of get a little fruit salad going on.
A mix.
A mix of things. It can be whatever you want it to
You
be.
can bring this to the Iwasaki and you can have your mixed bag of fruit and everybody's gonna be like, who is she? And you're like,
Like, you know.
it's just me.
Yeah, so then they'll get nice and hard and juicy and crunchy, and it's just like, especially in the summer, and if it was warmer out in springtime, like going on a walk to the Esplanade with your
That would be
grapes.
nice. And they look so pretty too. They look so colorful
Yes.
and everything. And I wish we had some to try out.
I
And
know,
I'm tempted to
definitely.
eat these, but I'm not going to because they're not frozen. But thank you so much. I'm so excited to try these out at home. Thank you so much for coming in, Maddie. We have to take a short commercial break, but when we come back, Brian Daniff has the latest New England news. Stick around.
Wow, our debates are on fire. Ah! Oh no, why did I say that? Ah! Ah! Oh no, I'm on fire still and it's so hot. I'm speechless on the Emerson channel. It's really good and full of action.
Welcome back to Good Morning Emerson. We now send it over to New England News correspondent Brian Daniff. Brian?
Thanks, Sean. Let's take a look at the developing stories this morning. 20 active Massachusetts state troopers and 1 retiree could be facing sanctions for reportedly logging overtime they didn't work, with some troopers putting in as much as 100 fake shifts. State Police Colonel Carrie Gilpins told reporters the troopers will have duty status hearings in the next few days to determine if they'll be suspended. Gilpin also announced the force is now conducting a department-wide probe of overtime shifts, saying, quote, "For us to fulfill our mission as a police agency, we must have public trust." The Office of Attorney General Maura Healey is also investigating. 6 students who survived the school shooting in Parkland, Florida, spoke at Harvard University yesterday as part of a panel discussion about the rise in student-led gun control activism. Just last week, nearly 1 million students across the country walked out of their classrooms for 17 minutes in honor of the 17 people who were killed at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. This Saturday, another protest, named March for Our Lives, will take place in Washington, D.C. and other major cities in an effort to call on Congress to enact expanded gun control measures. And finally, the New Hampshire Lottery Commission has revealed the mystery woman who won the $560 million jackpot in January lives in Merrimack, a town in Hillsborough County. In addition to the lottery, the woman also won the right to keep her name out of the press. Cited as Jane Doe in court papers, the woman reportedly took home $264 million after taxes and donated a combined $250,000 to Girls Inc. of New Hampshire and 3 chapters of End 68 Hours of Hunger. That's all for news. Back to you, Sean and Mary.
All right, well, thank you so much, Brian. I'm now joined by Mick Bondarenko. Thanks for having the time to be up here with us this morning. So what kind of music are you going to be playing for us? I know we teased it as sort of some love songs. Is that right?
Some love songs, yeah. I've written them in the past month. So, like, this semester I've been, like, focusing on my playing specifically, but something happened. Where's the camera? There. Something happened a month ago. I've met someone. So I've been writing love songs nonstop since then.
Incredible. So you got some inspiration behind it. It's really going to be nice and heartfelt. How long have you been playing for?
I'd say 5 years, but I've only started singing and writing songs about a year ago.
And now you have this new set of inspiration. It's got to be adding a lot to your music, you think, right?
Definitely. It already has.
And has this been the genre that you've always been writing songs in since you started a year ago, or is this something new you're trying out? There's just you can't hold it in.
I'm trying to keep it more jazzy. I've been writing sort of basic verse, chorus songs, but now I'm trying to develop a little bit, develop my structure, develop my solos, my leads, my rhythm, all that.
So when are you normally playing? Are you just going to open mics, or are you playing in front of friends?
Last semester I performed at a bunch of open mics. This semester I haven't performed anywhere, actually. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, we're all excited to hear what you have to play for us. So, Mick, take it away.
ate it, they drank it all up. They're passed out and I am all open now. Intruder alert, sound the alarms. Now blow the trumpets, let everyone know. Intruder, intruder, you step so low. And it's not that complex, you got it worked out. Confidence building to tear it apart. Once proud and decisive, reduced to the top of your slim fingers. Come over now. And of course I'll come over, I'll drop all my stuff. If you stand in my way, I'll make your mouth mush. Intruder, intruder, you make me mad. It seemed so seamless and out of the blue. The sound and the feeling, identical hue. Now I see the future, it never works out. I jump in too quickly and drown in the sound. Drown in the sun.
That was incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was really awesome. You have some serious talent. I think that we would all like to hear an encore, but unfortunately, that is all the time that we have today. Good morning, Emerson.
Thank you for waking up with us, and see you next week.
That's good.